Okay, babe. We have to blog about our wonderful trip on United Airlines.
Worst airlines ever. They should just not even be an airline anymore. I mean, who makes up phantom flights to Orlando? It tells us that we can't get on a flight that's actually going there tomorrow, but doesn't exist.
Let's start with the beginning of our day.
Start with the beginning.
Beginning of our day. We're in Columbus. In plenty of time, get our baggage, get checked in security. Everything's going smooth sailing, besides me being nervous and feeling like I'm going to puke. So we stop at our thing, and it says that it's delayed until 5:30. It's supposed to fly out at 3:30. Well, the problem with this is if our first flight was delayed and we weren't leaving until 5:30, we needed our second flight from Chicago to Florida to either be delayed, and it couldn't be canceled, and it couldn't be on time because we would miss it or we'd be stuck in Chicago. So we're waiting around, and it says yes, our first flight will be going and it's boarding. So we asked them, is our connecting flight from Chicago to Florida canceled? And they said no. But all flights to Chicago or leaving Chicago were delayed because of a snow advisory.
Really,
snow.
there's no snow in Chicago.
There's none. Well, there's supposed to be a big snowstorm tonight, so we'll see. But
praying that there's no snow on the ground tomorrow.
And so they said go for it, that we'd be able to get onto that flight because all flights were delayed, and it probably wouldn't have even left LA yet. So we would have a nice little layover. So we get on the plane. I start crying like a big baby.
Wow.
And
everybody's staring at us because Jordan's crying.
And there's turbulence. I could feel the plane like drop down and turn, and it's freaking me out. So I just tried not to think about it. We get off the plane. Well, on the plane, the lady's like, the flight to Orlando will be C19, gate C19. Well, we go and we look on the big board, and there's no C19. There's like B2. So we're like, okay, hopefully this is our flight. So we walk our asses all the way down to B2. It's a far walk because Chicago airport is huge. And we get there and they tell us that the flight is full. No, that wasn't our flight, and our flight had already left.
How it left when nothing was coming or leaving Chicago is beyond me.
They said that flight was only delayed 30 minutes. Yeah, ours was delayed 2 hours. If you know that the people on that flight had to get on this next flight, why wouldn't you delay it longer? And how did it leave if no planes could leave? So somebody was lying there. So basically our flight left without us. And the next option was to get on the next Orlando flight because it was the last flight of the night. Well, it was completely booked, and there was a list of people who we would have to go after that were on a waiting list before us. So 3 girls went, and then there was a couple before us, and there was 1 seat left on this plane. And if they didn't want it, then it was up to us. Well, they told us that there was no Orlando flights for basically the rest of the weekend. There was no flight to Orlando. But then they said there was an Orlando flight that had room for 1 person tomorrow, and that's the flight our bags would be on. Yet I thought there was no flights flying out of Orlando.
The Phantom Orlando plane that who knows if it exists.
It does apparently because our bags were supposed to be on it. But so they asked us if we were willing to split up. I've never been on a plane before. No, you dipshits, I don't want to split up. Like,
that would be a negative.
No. What? One of us is just going to sit in the airport all night long while the other one is in Florida.
The funny thing is, the 2 couples that was ahead of us, dude left his girlfriend at the airport. I'm still tripping on that.
He got on the plane and left her for who knows what she's doing tonight, but
he pretty much told her, like, look, I'm going on this plane, deuces.
She's probably getting on the plane tomorrow that also has the 1 room, but what we weren't understanding is they didn't even give us the option to be on the waiting list for that plane tomorrow. If there's room for 1 person, most likely a couple people aren't going to show up. There'll be room for more. So why couldn't we be on the waiting list for that? Who knows? So we were screwed for tonight. There's no other planes. We couldn't fly to a new connecting flight like Washington or Atlanta. Everything was supposedly full. I find that hard to believe.
Then they wanted us to stay at the airport for 2 days.
Yeah. Then they tried saying, oh, well, you could stay here till we have a new Orlando flight, which wouldn't be for a few days. So that was happening. So then the guy came up to us and said, well, I can get you on the Fort Lauderdale plane right now. But that's 4 hours away from Orlando, so I don't know how you're going to get there.
Your guess is as good as mine, buddy, how we were going to get there.
Walk? I mean, you idiot. So we obviously said no to that. And the lady asked us if we wanted to go to Tampa, which was only an hour and a half away from Orlando. So we said yes. So that flight is supposed to be at 9:15 tomorrow morning. We are staying at a Holiday Inn tonight, which is like 30 minutes away. So we have to wake up really early, get over there because they'll start boarding by like 8:45. And hopefully we don't get stuck out of that flight because it is supposed to be snowing tonight and we might have another delay, which this mess will be all over again. But then, so when we chose that flight, we had to get our bags switched because they said our bags would be on the first plane to Orlando tomorrow morning.
On the Phantom plane.
And then it would get sent to wherever we are, our hotel or house. By the time we got our bags, it'd be time to leave. We have no other clothes. Like, this is what we are wearing today and tomorrow until we get our clothes. We have nothing. So, we obviously got our bags switched to Tampa. My bag is a big pink bag, so you can't miss it. But his bag blends in more. It's like black and dark green, so it's harder to find. So I'm praying that our bags are both going to be in Tampa tomorrow and we don't have to like go shopping for Steven or anything like that, or me.
Did you just see that? Oh my god.
He's watching the game.
Oh my gosh. That boy is a monster.
Anyways, so then we got the bags situated and the plane, but what makes us pissed is that United specifically told us we'd be able to catch our plane. If we would have decided against this, we could have stayed in Columbus tonight, slept in our own comfy bed, and flew to Washington at 6 a.m. and then from Washington flew to Orlando, and we would have got there by like 10:30. We would have been able to sleep in our own comfy bed, not spend any money, and get there by 10:30 tomorrow. Now we have to pay for a stupid hotel room and not get to Tampa until almost 1, so we're not gonna get to Orlando till like 2:30.
No, we have no clothes.
No clothes, no toothbrush. We're skanking it.
Yeah,
we are
that.
Straight nasty right now.
Tomorrow, every United Airlines person I'm dealing with, I'm gonna have the worst morning breath in the morning. It's gonna be so bad. I'm blowing it in all their faces.
So
I'm roasting nose hairs off tomorrow.
Clearly, we're pissed, and we could have got on that freaking plane tomorrow morning, and now we don't get to go until about. We'll get to brush our teeth basically till about 2:30 tomorrow. That's lovely. I'll smell nice and fresh.
We should just send this video to United Airlines.
We are. And we then are supposed to be flying back on United on Tuesday morning. And I had to work Tuesday night, but we might choose to stay an extra day since we got there late. But if we do that, we have to switch it with United and spend more money and all this extra work when most likely they're gonna fuck it up somehow, some way. So basically, United sucks. Do not fly United Airlines ever. Ever, ever, ever. I don't even want to fly again, and I have to fly with this stupid airline 3 more times. And it already made me feel queasy.
They just tell you lies just so you don't get upset. But I was clearly upset with this guy today.
I was about to cuss him out. And then Chicago is not the Windy City anymore. Chicago is the retarded city. Don't go to McDonald's in Chicago. I ordered just a sandwich, and Steven ordered a sandwich. We get 1 sandwich. And the guy said, well, you only ordered 1. I said, no. He ordered it, and then I told you, hey, yeah, I want that same thing. I wasn't reiterating what he wanted. I heard him. I was telling you what I wanted. Oh, well, I only charge you for 1. Okay, I get that, but I ordered it. Okay, but I only charge you for 1. Okay, then charge me again. Like, I want a second one. Shit. You want to share? No. Oh my god.
How hard is it? You work at McDonald's, seriously. What are the requirements to work at McDonald's?
We're in a cab with a dude who's a bum.
Take orders and just give people their food. Then the guy in the cab was ridiculous.
He's a bum who has a master's degree.
But can't get a job.
And he wants to work at a homeless shelter.
No, he didn't want to work. He wanted to live at a
homeless shelter. Because home has nothing for him. Literally, I'm never coming back to Chicago. I thought I wanted to come back to Chicago, but no.
Yeah, he's staying at a hotel with, I don't know what money. And then he is flying United tomorrow. To where? It's just been a rough day.
I want to kill somebody.
It's been a rough day.
The next person that rubs me the wrong way is going to get cussed out, so I feel sorry for whoever that is. I'll apologize.
We might go to jail.
Now.
We might go to jail tomorrow.
Yeah. And sorry, Haley, for making you pick us up at Tampa. I know it's an hour and a half away, but we didn't really have much of a choice since apparently no one is flying into Orlando ever for the next weekend. But I find that hard to believe. And I'm ready to get my drink on.
Yeah.
We have to
tomorrow.
Sleep all day, party all night. Party, party, party. Let's all get wasted.